Welcome to another glimpse with Dr. Dale. Welcome in, you guys. Hello. Welcome. Welcome in. Let's turn this down. I want to start with these words. Someone sent this to me and I wanted to share it with you because I thought it was so beautiful. And it says, let me make sure my sound is low enough. Is it low enough? Let me know. Is it low enough? Let's see here. Okay, it's not that loud, right? It's not that loud. Just because people don't clap for you yet does not mean God is not working behind the scenes for you. A seed underground looks invisible before it becomes unignorable. Most people think and they ask, why does the germination process take so long? Well, it's because your roots must be able to withstand everything that comes against it. Your roots has to be able to withstand all of the challenges that will destroy what is inside and what is outside. Real life, right? Sometimes God will allow you to feel stretched, pushed, punched, drowning even, so that you can stop depending on yourself and you can start depending on Him, fully on Him, so that your heart can feel fuller. Right now, your heart may be weary. Right now, you may be tired physically, emotionally drained. You can rest, but you must not quit. Why, Dr. Dale? Well, because your life depends on it. The future of everyone coming behind you depends on it. Everyone that came before you, the hundreds, the thousands, your family, your generation, those near to you, those that you don't even know, you are standing on their shoulders today. And I don't care where you are in life, you have their shoulders. So I see them as your allies, folks that are standing alongside of you, locking arms and letting you know you are not alone. So you can rest, but know that you cannot, must not quit. We got work to do. We got work to do. And with that, we're going to start our conversation today about you don't have to be the strongest and smartest person in the room. You don't. If you think that you do, you don't. Let me turn down this music a little bit more so we can get started in here. All right. So, somewhere along the way, I am going to say somewhere between the year 2002, when I graduated high school, and 2015, which is about 13, 15 years or something. Somewhere along the way in those within those years, me myself and maybe in other years, you yourself, we were taught that as a leader, as a person that's in charge of something, of someone, that we have to have all of the answers, and we don't. When I first time became a manager, I was taught that I needed to have all the answers and that I needed to have it all figured out and that I need to get ahead of the answer before everybody else. I saw my manager do it. I saw the manager that they reported to do it. So naturally, I did it and thought the same way. If you are a manager today, if you are a parent today, if you are an executive today, if you are an expert in your own right, if you are a leader of people, you probably were thought that you were supposed to be the one that no more. Speak first, dominate the room, dominate the conversation, always be right, always have the answer, and never appear weak. But emotional intelligence teaches us something else, something different. Real leadership, my friend, significant one, it's not about proving your intelligence in every room. That gets tiring. It's about creating a room, creating a space where intelligence can grow collectively. Because insecure leadership sounds a lot like interrupting, a lot like over explaining, a lot like controlling every conversation, shutting people down, interrupting them, correcting them constantly. Not saying that correcting is wrong, in the right setting at the right time and in the right way, of course. Struggling to say when you know you don't know, but you can't say you don't know, but you don't want to say that you don't know when you know you don't know. I've been there. I laugh because I when I started out, I have seen the workplace from all ends. As an employee answering the phones, as working at Burger King in drive-through, as right before I became a manager, as an office manager, supervisor kind of a thing, right? As when I finally became that manager and got my first opportunity and acting like I had it all figured out. And then when I didn't have it all figured out, I would blame other people, making them feel like it was their fault that I didn't have it all figured out. That is exhausting. Lulu, it is exhausting. I can't even, I don't, I'm even scared sometimes to even sit down and recollect, remember all that I have been through and all that I used to do, that I look back on and I'll be like, if I saw that other person today, I need to tell them it's okay for you not to know. If somebody had told me that one sentence, that would have changed the trajectory on how I manage people going forward. If someone had told me, Dale, you don't have to have it all figured out. Calm down, relax, pace yourself, take it easy. It's okay for you not to know. Alas, I didn't have someone that told me that, which is why I am here having this conversation with you, because I prayed for years, searched, asked, knocked on doors, asking someone to mentor me, to sit down and have these conversations with me, to guide me. I only watched other people do it that way and I just copied what they did. Nobody sat down alongside of me, locked arms with me, and told me that, hey, this is how it's done. You're doing it wrong. Like, let me guide you, let me help you out. Not until It was way past years, and I had to like figure it. And I realized and look back, and it was like, where were you? Where were you 10 years ago? I needed you, right? But then also, I have to give thanks because if it wasn't for what I have learned, I probably wouldn't be in front of you right now having this conversation, right? I wouldn't be in front of you, right? So we got to give thanks for the journey. We got to give thanks for the journey. So emotional intelligence teaches us something different, to do it with a little bit more humanity, which is why I lean so hard into EQ, because it has saved me. It has saved how I respond. Man, I used to have some poker face. I did not have a poker face. What I felt is what I felt on the inside is what people saw. I was curt. I was dismissive. I was, you name it. That's what I came for. That's what I used to do. Way before I became a manager, as a person, I thought less of people because I thought less of myself. You don't have to lose value because someone else brings value. Say that again. You don't have to be less so someone else can be, have value, have some type of a presence. I used to think that I needed to bring someone down, bring people around me a top notch down so that way I can feel like I was somebody. It doesn't have to be that way. We can all win. We can all win. When you finally realize that, that's maturity. And honestly, some leaders are so busy trying to appear smart, like they got it all figured out, that they stop being curious. The day that you stop being curious about, maybe I don't have it all figured out, maybe I should ask somebody else for their opinion, maybe I can probably sit back and observe. The day that you stop being curious, curiosity is one of the most important leadership skill. That's a tool, because when you're curious, that means you're leaning in. You're leaning in. You want to hear more. You want to understand. You want to, maybe I don't have it all figured out. Maybe I can ask someone for their perspective. Because the smartest person in the room is not always the loudest. It's not always the person that's right all the time. It's not always the person that has all of the credentials. It's not always the fast talker, the one that's quick to respond, the one that is ready. It's not the person with the titles. It's not always the manager. There you go. I said it. The smartest person in the room is not always the manager. Boom. Mic drop. Sometimes the wisest leader is the one who is actually asking, what am I missing? What do you think about it? Should we ask someone else? Help me understand where you're coming from as it relates to this. Is there another perspective that we are missing that I don't see? Have you ever said those sentences? Well, I say them sometimes, Dr. Dale. How about if you start making them more common in your language, especially as a leader? What a way to change the room. What a way to change the vibe. The kind of emotional intelligence leadership, when you are that way and you start to be more curious and hold space for other people, you know what you're doing? You're creating trust. You're creating connection. You're creating innovation. You are creating psychological safety. You are creating collaboration. In other words, for all of those analytics and business acumen people out there, you are creating high performers because people speak more freely when they don't feel emotionally dominated, when they don't feel like you have a finger on a finger on their neck and stopping them from being able to express and to challenge what you are saying in that meeting. And the truth is, when you as a leader, when leaders always need to be the smartest person in the room, teams, people stop bringing their best thinking to the room. Not telling you this because this is some theory and I'm feeling around the wall trying to figure out if it sticks. I'm telling you this because I've done it as a frontline employees, as an frontline employee, when managers would insert themselves and make everything all about them and just not bother to even ask anybody else for their opinion, even though we're the ones doing the work and have the expertise in what this should look like. As the manager, I did it. I watched other managers do it and saw their not success, for the lack of a better word right now. They were not successful. People begin to shrink. Are people shrinking right in your presence and you don't even realize it right now? Are they? Are people filtering themselves? Playing it safe, silent. Oh, silence does not mean agreement, my friend. It does not mean agreement. And I'm going to pause here and say, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and this kind of stuff just sends me. This is why I'm so passionate about leadership, because I've seen what happens when leaders don't always get it right. And you may say, you may be someone watching this recording or live and saying, Dr. Dale, why are you guys always talking about the manager, the boss, the leaders, the executives? Well, because you are the one that gets to actually translate what that environment looks like. You are the one with the last word. You are the one with the last word. You are the one, I'm gonna say that again. You are the one with the last word. You are manager. You are leader. You are. Here's a metaphor, right? That I love, and I use this all the time with my clients to kind of prove the point. Emotional intelligence is the weapon. Weapon can be used for weapon. Let me rephrase that. Weapon in the right hand, at the right place, for the right reason, in the right moment. It can save lives. Emotional intelligence is your weapon, is your tool. The business, it's the battlefield, because it is a battlefield out there in the workplace. I ain't gonna lie, it's a battlefield. People. I've talked to clients all the time, and I talk to friends of mine and peers. Like, people are fighting for their lives with all of this gossiping and politics and all of the things that happen in the workplace. Well, cattiness and people just I can't. Employees are the heartbeat. Your employees are the heartbeat of that workplace. And you, the manager, you are the one that translate all of that to the culture, in the culture. So let me tell you, if you as a manager don't get it right, everything else is going to fail. I don't care what you do, everything else is going to fail. So I say all of that to say, I was talking to a friend of mine, and the situation where this person, they ended up losing their job as a result of politics in the office, because this other person has been there for God knows how long, and they know the C suite, and the C suite trusts them over this person. And it just creates all kind of animosity and groupiness, and it just creates a hostile environment. And so the person coming in has all of the credentials, can do the work, has EQ built into their system, because they believe that managers and employees, that we can all win if we collaborate and have the right tools in the right place at the right. They believe in a person-centered approach, and then they get terminated from their job because of favoritism, because this person is creating the narrative and this person is controlling the story. That stuff just drains me. That used to be what, when I was in the workplace, that used to be what took away my the little bit of humanity that it just sends me, because it's so sad to see someone that really wants to give and be a great leader in a workplace get terminated, because we got executives and C-suites and managers out here playing favoritism, because this one is sleeping with that person. I was like, oh my gosh, it just gets so messy so quick. There's no way you can have a fair system, a fair environment, if all of this other stuff is going on. I can't talk about this stuff too deeply, you guys, because I get very, very, very passionate about it. And it just really, it just sometimes you feel like, in what I said at the top of this hour, I said, we can't let it, we can't give up. You can't give up. We can't give up. You as a leader, I'm speaking to that manager, that executive, that boss out there, that employee that is doing the right thing at the right time and doing their job with excellence. Thank you. Thank you for showing up in spite of all of the shenanigans that happen in these workplaces. Keep showing up, because they want us to quit, but we ain't gonna quit. We ain't gonna quit. We are not going to quit. So here's some reality check, you guys. Here's a reality check for us. Sometimes, how am I going to say this? Sometimes the need to always appear smart is actually rooted in ego. Oh, the ego. Gosh, the ego. The ego gets us. The ego gets us every time. If you don't have that ego on lock, mm, 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 mm. Insecurity, fear of losing respect. Tony, you know anybody like that? Emma, good? You know anybody like that? They just allow their emotions to get the best of them, and they call it strategic. When in reality, I remember when I first, I'll give you guys a scenario, right? When I had first become a manager, and there was this employee. We were around the table, and I did used to listen to my employees and kind of go do like a round table and talk to everybody and ask them questions. What do you guys think about this? Should we do this or not? And how should we do it? And I already had the answer, right? I already had my thoughts, but I would let them go around the table and kind of share their thoughts. And we had already agreed, after we ran around the table, shared thoughts, and then I shared mine, and they were like, "Oh, yours sounds better, Dr. Dale. Let's do yours." That. And I was like, "Okay, cool." But then this girl interrupted, and she challenged my idea. When she challenged my idea, I ain't gonna lie to you guys because it's years later. Dr. Dale was not doctor. I was not emotionally where I'm at today, emotionally intelligent, right, with my leadership. And I said, I don't know if that's gonna work. In reality, everyone around the table knew their facial expression. And the minute the person said it and said the idea and kind of explained how it would work, and I said to myself, I said in my head, I didn't say it out loud. I said, that sounds like an amazing idea. Everybody else around the table knew and said that you can tell their expression, their facial expression said the same thing. Oh, I like that. And then they saw my face and they're like, they got quiet. That's to tell you that what they saw my face and they didn't want to show how happy they were with this other employee's idea, even that was much better than mine, that was better for the business, for the department, and it was going to cost us less. Ask me, why did I get mad? I didn't get mad at them at the time, during the meeting. I just said, let's think about it and we'll come back to it. That was Q4. She's not going to do it. She's going to do what she wants to do and call it a day. But thank the Lord, at that time, I had a mentor. I had a mentor, and I shared this with them, and they asked me one question. They knew it was already better for the business, so I didn't need to address that with them, right? Because the minute you hear it, it sounds like it was logic. It made logical sense. But the only question they asked me is, why do you feel like it's not a good idea? And then I had to answer the question. I said, what do you mean? Da, 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 da. After we got through all the fluff, the conclusion was, it was my ego. It was my insecurity. It was me fearing losing respect from my team. How was that going to happen? And then I sat down with my mentor and I went through each one of these fears that I thought I had and proved to myself. We create ideas, these narratives in our minds about things that we fear, that we think is going to happen, that doesn't really have anything to do with what actually happened. I had to get real with myself. And of course, because I had that mentor, I was able to come back the next day and say, let's go with your idea. I still, even after I came to the conclusion with my mentor, I still didn't like it, but I knew it was the right thing to do. With time, I look back and I thank myself, because I'm sure that would have showed that employee how a manager, that showed an employee how a manager should listen to something that makes more sense than what they're saying, right? My imposter syndrome showed. My survival mode showed. My needing validation showed. Like, all of that came up. And I had to get real with myself and kind of strip it away with my mentor and talk through it and figure out what was I resisting? And emotional intelligence invites us to do things like this and ask questions like this. Am I trying to lead, or am I trying to prove myself? Because those are two different things. They're not the same. They're not the same. Okay? So as we wind down here, the question here on the screen is, confident, or should I say the statement, confident leaders don't need to be the smartest person. Confident, emotionally intelligent leaders don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You know why? Because they create rooms where smart people feel safe to contribute. to add to the conversation, to add to the project, to add to that task. So in this season, maybe for you, growth looks like listening more. I mentioned a bunch of things in this entire 30 minutes or whatever amount of time we've been here, right? Maybe listening more. Maybe asking better questions instead of shutting people down and quick to react to what people say. That's a hard one. That was a hard one for me. I still struggle from time to time. Being teachable. Are you a teachable person? Are you a teachable person? Can people still train you on dot 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 and you not pretend like you got it all figured out all the time and you don't need nobody to tell you anything because you got chat GPT? Ah! Oh my goodness. I laugh because it's life. If you're not laughing, I don't know what you're doing. Is this the season for you to maybe make space for other people and start releasing some of that pressure of always performing intelligence, performing like you got it all figured out? It's okay to have it all figured out. What do you do when you don't have it all figured out? Who is it that you're taking out the frustration on? Your kids, your employees, your husband? It's not about knowing everything. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being emotionally aware enough to keep learning. Are you emotionally aware to keep learning? Are you? Socrates said, the wise man, I love this because it's so short and it's short and sweet to the point. It says, the wise man knows he knows nothing. You know nothing. If you're a Game of Thrones fanatic like I was, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Love that line because he really knew nothing. So if you approach everything and everyone as if you don't know anything, then maybe you will lean in just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. You'll be open because true wisdom and emotional intelligent leadership being begins with the moment we stop needing to prove that we know everything. There's no way you know everything. There's just no way. Because the minute you, like, if you decided today, man, I know a little bit of everything about it, a lot of everything. The minute you say that, something else came out that you don't know. It is amazing that we can accomplish what we can accomplish if we do not care who gets the credit. Harry Tubman, Harry Truman said that. If you're a leader out there, you're taking credit for other people's work. If you had a hand in it, great. But if your team did the majority of that work or even did a smidge of that work, give them their credit. And if you get some bonus out of it, give them piece of that bonus. What you doing? What you doing? Do better. Do better. A genuine leader, Martin Luther King Jr. said, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. Mm, a molder. Be the molder today, going forward. And I said a lot today, but take one thing and just work on that. That's why I named this podcast A Glimpse of Growth. You don't need to have or do a massive amount of everything, because that's analysis paralysis and then you do nothing. You just need to move one smidge, just a glimpse, just a little shot at a time, and you will overcome. But you got to start today. You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And that's how we're going to end this conversation today. Thank you for being here. If anything I said that made you think or agree or get mad, let me know down below. Send me a DM, send me a message, let me know. Give me some hearts. Give me some hearts, you guys. Let me know that you are here with me and you are growing, and that this world, may as big as it is, we are doing our part in our niche, in whatever area we are in our communities, in our families. One skill, one decision at a time, right? That's what it's all about. This has been a conversation with Dr. Dale, a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. I'm here every Wednesday around 12:15 for about 30 minutes, just here having this conversation with you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for sharing. Forward this to someone that needs it. Don't you? Do it. Do it. Because I do it out of love. I do it because I care. And I do it because this is paying it back to little Dale way back when, that wish she had someone to pour into her and just share these nuggets on how to be and how to grow and thrive in the world of work and in her personal life. That's all this is. That's it. Doesn't get any crazier than that. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. I think we're having a conversation with motherhood. Finishing, that was a part two series. I had three amazing, what lovely mothers that we talked about leadership and motherhood, and how both of them kind of feed into each other, and the shifts that these amazing entrepreneurs are doing in their own lives as they overcome all of the challenges in being an entrepreneur and being a leader and being a mother. So if you are into that and that's is interesting to you, tune in next week, Wednesday. That will be live, and we're gonna keep this conversation going. And I'm setting up some fathers. Maybe we let's see what we do for Father's Day and have some fathers come and join for a conversation as well. So until then, I'll see you guys next week. I'll see you guys next week. Later.